Hello guys, welcome to another session of Maths. Let's look at this question. If angle SPR is equal to 56 degrees and then angle RPQ is equal to 60 degrees, calculate the length of line SR correct to 2 decimal place. Triangle PQR is a whole triangle on its own, but the triangle has been divided because of this line here. Line PR divided the whole triangle. That is giving us two triangles. That is PQR and then PRS. And the question says we should find the length of SR. That is the length of SR. But this side wasn't given. This side too wasn't given. PR too wasn't given. So how are we going to find this side? Well, you can use sine rule. You can use sine rule to solve this question. But before you can use the sine rule, you will need either this side and then this side and one angle, the whole of this angle, or you get two angles in the triangle and a side. That is either this vertical line here meeting this one create angle of 90 degrees. So you can either add this 56 to this 90 degrees and get this angle here, or this 90 to this one and then get this angle here. Okay, and when you get either this or this angle, you'll be able to apply the sine rule to find this side. But in this video, we are not going to use the sine rule. We are just going to use the trig ratios to solve this problem, or to solve this question, or to calculate the side of SR. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, first we will consider triangle PQR. With trig ratios, all the ratios has their formulas. So we will just find which of the ratios suit the triangle that we have chosen. Okay, so because we are going to because we are using trig ratios, you can choose to use any of the trig ratios to find this side first, and also use the same ratio to calculate maybe this side. After that, you use the same ratio to maybe calculate this side, or maybe you find this side first and then maybe this side plus maybe other side here to get this one. But to make it very, very, very simple without confusion, we know that PQ is 8 centimeters, and then the angle located at P is 60 degrees when you consider triangle PQR. And the question says we should calculate this SR here. Okay, so meaning finding this side and also this side won't be all that necessary to us. Or what do you think? Yeah, so what can help us go fast as well to get this side, and then use other trig ratios to determine this side. That will help us go a little bit faster. Okay, so we're just going to find the length of this PR first by considering triangle PQR. When you consider triangle PQR, here is 8 centimeters and here is 60 degrees, and this 60 degrees here is resting on this PR here, making this PR adjacent, and this side the opposite. Okay, so when we choose cos is adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now we know the hypotenuse, the length of hypotenuse, which is 8 centimeters, and we also know the value of the angle, which is 60 degrees. So getting this side is very simple. Though when you choose sine, it will also give you this side over this. But when you get this side, what are you going to do to get this side? Unless you calculate maybe other side, that's going to be what waste of time. So to avoid that, just going to choose cos. That is cos 60 will be equal to PR over what? PQ. And PQ is what? 8 centimeters. So cos 60 will be equal to PR over 8 centimeters. And PR will be equal to 8 times what? Cos 60. And that will give us what? The length of what? PR. After that, we consider triangle PRS. PRS. Now, when you consider triangle PRS, the angle in PRS is what? 56 degrees, and that one is also located at what? P. If this one appears to be this side, maybe the ratio will be what? Calculation will be what? A little bit different. But because this one is also on this side, and from the first step we have managed to get this side, we are going to use what? Tan. Why? Because this one is the hypotenuse. This one appearing here make this line what? The adjacent, and this side what? The what? Opposite. This side is what? Opposite to this angle, and then this line here, this angle here is resting on this one. So when we consider triangle PRS, I'm just going to choose what? Tan. Tan is what? Opposite over the high, opposite over adjacent. And now the opposite is what? The SR. That is what we are going to calculate. And then adjacent here is what? That is PR. But we already know the length of PR from the first what? Step. So it's going to be tan 56 is equal to SR over PR. And PR is equal to what? 8 cos 60. So SR will be equal to 8 SR will be equal to tan 50. SR will be equal to 8 cos 60 divided by what? Tan 50. Tan 56 degrees, and that will give us what? The length of what? This side. Okay, but you can choose to split the diagram into two, and then you solve it. But here we are not going to split the diagram into two, because there are sometimes when you are solving problems of this nature, where you have to apply trig ratios, the diagram that is given in the question, it's not always true that we'll be able to split the diagram into two. So here, if I split it into two, and then maybe in the next problem I don't split it into two, it might confuse some of us. So with this one, splitting into two is what? Possible, because here there is no 90 degrees angle here, and this angle here, and also there's another angle here. So you can consider triangle PQR as what triangle, and calculate PR, and also consider triangle PRS and find maybe SR. But there's other instance, the diagram, the way they have sketched the diagram, you won't be able to, even when you split it, applying trig ratios to determine the size of the triangle will be a little bit problem unless you use other approaches. Okay, so here, because I don't want to confuse you, I'm not going to split the diagram into two. You have to learn how to solve the problem without splitting any triangle, because the reason is that it's not always true that we'll be able to split the diagram into two and apply maybe all trig ratios to solve. So if I split it into two, and maybe the next problem I don't split it, it can confuse you. So you're going to learn how we are going to use the trig ratios to solve problems of this nature without splitting the diagram. Okay, this one you can choose to split. That is when you are doing it on your bar. In this video we are not going to split it. Okay, so now that we know how we are going to find the length of SR, let's get started. All right. So as I said, first you're going to consider triangle PQR. Okay. Yeah, and cos 60 is equal to what? Cos 60 is equal to PR over all PQ. PR over all PQ. When you sketch a diagram to help us a little bit, but as I said, you have to learn how to solve the problem without splitting, because it is not always possible that you can split the diagram. Okay. So if you don't want to confuse yourself, sketch the diagram before proceed or continue watching the video. Okay, so when you are doing it on your own, you just sketch it, split it into two, use the first one to calculate the other one, and then use the second one to calculate the other one. Okay, but here we are not going to split it. Okay, all right. So consistency is equal to PR over P, and from the diagram we don't know PR, but we know the length of PQ, that is 8 centimeters. So consistency is equal to PR over 8 centimeters. So PR will give us what? That is, we're just going to multiply this one by this, and then we equate it to PR. So PR is equal to 8 cos 60. 8 cos 60. So the length of PR is equal to 8 cos 60, but 8 cos 60 is the answer, but it's not the answer yet. Why? Because we have to calculate the value of this one. Okay, so let's find the value of 8 cos 60. So PR is equal to 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. Cos 60 is what? Half. So half of 8 is what? 4 centimeters. So the length of PR is equal to what? 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. From the first diagram, we have been able to determine the length of PR, which is 4 centimeters. But that is not what we are looking for. What we are looking for is what? SR. So let's consider the next diagram, which is PRS. PR what? S. Okay. So consider triangle. Good. Now, as I said, we are going to use what? Tan. So tan 56 will be equal to tan 56 degrees will be equal to SR over PR. SR over PR. Now from the diagram, do we know the length of this SR? No. What about what of PR? No. But from in our first step, we've gotten to know the length of PR. So here we're just going to put PR, which is equal to 4 centimeters here. Okay, so tan 56 is equal to SR over 4 centimeters. Alright, so here too, what are you going to do? It's very simple, right? You're just going to multiply this one by this, cross multiplication, multiply this one by this one, and then we equate it to this one. Okay, so SR is equal to 4 tan 56. 4 tan 56. 4 tan 56. So let's find the actual value of 4 tan 56. So 4 tan 56 will give us what? 5.9302 centimeters. 5.9302 centimeters. So the length of SR from the diagram is what? 5.9302 centimeters. The decimals are many, but when they are many, we just choose 4 decimal places and you are good to go. But we are not done yet. The question says we should correct our answer to 2 decimal places, meaning that the decimal places should be 2 and not any other number at all. So it shouldn't be 4 here, but rather 2. Okay, so now let's correct this one to 2 decimal place. So correct to 2 decimal place. So let's correct it. The length of SR is equal to 5.93 centimeters. When you are correcting to decimal places, this is how we do it. We consider after counting the decimal place that you want, which is what? Here in this case we want 2, so 1 2. Then we look at what the next number. If the next number is what between 0 to 4, we take it as what 0. If it is between 5 to 9, we take it as what 1. Then we will add it to what the number before that. Okay, so if this 0 appears to be 5, we will consider it as 1 and add it to what this 3, and it will be what 9 4. But here this 0 falls between what 0 to 4, so we will take it as what 0, and we will not add it to it. Even when we add, we're just going to get 3 plus 0, that will give us what 0. Okay, so 5.9302 to 2 decimal places what 5.93 centimeters. 5.93 centimeters. So the length of SR from the diagram in 2 decimal places is what 5.93 centimeters. So therefore the length of line SR is equal to 5.93 centimeters. You see, this one is this how we solve the question is very, 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 very simple. The approach that we use is very, very simple. We could have determined QR and then also find PS, and by that maybe apply another ratio to find this. Always choose the approach which makes what the workings very, very, very simple and easy for you. To you won't be able, you won't always have enough time to solve questions during exams time. So if you don't choose approach which makes the problem very simple to solve, you always won't be able to finish what you are expected to do. Okay, so always just choose the approach which makes the problem easier to solve than approach which always what the other approach, there are other approach there that can solve the problem, but that is going to make the workings very, 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 very lengthy, and because you don't have enough time, you won't be able to complete it. Okay, so always choose approach which makes the problem very simple and easy to solve. Alright, that's it guys. Please, if you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.